We are here with UFC welterweight Jordan Young Gun Meehan. Of course, UFC 158 is going down this Saturday night on pay-per-view. And what does that sound like? UFC welterweight Jordan Young Gun Meehan.
It's super exciting. You know, all my dreams and my goals are coming true, and I'm ready to perform.
Is there a part of you that almost surprised it took this long? I mean, very young, obviously, at 23, but 34 pro fights. And, I mean, for years, people have been touting you as someone to keep a key eye on for the future.
Yeah, you just got to, beat the right guys. And I think I finally did that after being with Strikeforce and getting a couple wins there. Went back to the score, fought there, and fought another UFC vet. So once I got the wins, I think that's why I'm here.
What was your time like in Strikeforce? We saw you have 3 fights within the organization. That last year, a lot of fighters. It was very frustrating at times. You were actually allowed to take a fight elsewhere, as you mentioned, for the Score Fighting Series. But what was your time like for Strikeforce? Did that get you on the UFC's radar, in your opinion, or what did that do for you that time there?
Oh, I think so. And, all the staff, behind the scenes for Strikeforce is the same as UFC, so it kind of got me, a little adapted to what's going on right now, and they treated us great. They always had good fights, and they treated us with respect, and that's what we look for for fighters, not to get thrown around by promoters and
Sure.
and all that crazy stuff. But yeah, it was great, and that we were fortunate enough to lend us out to fight in another organization where a lot of places wouldn't let you do that, and I wanted to fight, and I knew I wouldn't be on the last Strikeforce card, so I figured why not.
Was it risky in your mind, though, taking that fight outside of the organization? Forrest Pat's a tough guy, but, I mean, in hindsight, obviously, you looked tremendous in that fight that we were at live there for.
Yeah, it was a little risky, but I wasn't really thinking that. I was just thinking I just want to fight again. I want to, get another big win, and Forrest Pets was another good name to fight. But I wasn't really thinking, risk factor, because it's just not a big deal. I don't know. I think it's for me anyway, it's more about, getting experience and fighting good guys.
Well, you were going to get a good one on Saturday night in Dan Miller, a guy that has never been stopped in his career. A very significant test. This is his second fight since cutting down to 170. Tell us a bit about preparing for Dan Miller. Yeah,
watching lots of tape. His last fight was against Ricardo Funch. He guillotined him, dropped him a couple times in the fight as well, and watching out for guillotines in training camp. Really keeping your head positioning in the right spot, and he's got constant pressure, and he's obviously, like you said, coming down from middleweight, so he's going to be a strong guy. So just preparing with big guys.
It seems obviously, looking on paper, UFC 158, the welterweights are the key division to watch for here. Of course, the top 3 fights, but you look underneath here, someone like yourself here. I mean, you're going out there to impress, I'm sure, and just it's a real big spotlight, I think, on the welterweight class that we're going to see on Saturday night.
Yeah, I feel honored to be even on this card, and to be in Montreal, to be my first fight in Canada is really special to me, and like you said, all the welterweights that are on this card, even when I'm done my fight, it's going to be just fun just to sit down and watch. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm curious, are you able to kind of take that in fight week? I mean, you're so geared towards this fight. Are you able to kind of, I'm finally here at the UFC, but, maybe you don't get a chance to necessarily sit back and enjoy it now that you're here?
Yeah, well, I'm just staying focused on until I fight, and then after that I can relax and watch the rest of the fights. But for now, it's just eye on the prize and beat Dan Miller.
Rory MacDonald was, of course, supposed to be on this card fighting Carlos Condit. He's out with a neck injury. He'll be back shortly. But very interesting, though, your first professional fight. Is that one that, conceivably we could see at some point within the next year to 18 months?
Yeah, definitely. That could definitely happen. And it's too bad he's off this card, because it's another great fight that the fans want to see, and a rematch that he wants and the fans want to see. I was there in Vancouver watching it, and it was super exciting, and I'm sure this one would have been just as good, but got injured, and he'll be back soon, and yeah, that would definitely be a possibility.
Who do you like Saturday night? George St. Pierre and Nick Diaz in the main event for the welterweight title.
Ooh, it's hard. I think it would be interesting to see Nick Diaz win, but I think the explosiveness and I think he'll just, his takedowns and his explosiveness even on his strikes, I think are going to overcome Nick Diaz. I think St. Pierre is going to take the win.
Did you get to hear that intense conference call last week that everyone is discussing?
It made so much sense.
It was just so great. I think that this fight week is going to be so entertaining to watch with the two dichotomies, so to speak, of George St. Pierre and Nick Diaz. Jordan, congratulations here on getting to the UFC, and all the best Saturday night against Dan Miller.
Appreciate it. Thanks.